Hello and welcome, fellow digital soldiers, to True Reporting. It is the 27th of August, and on today's podcast, I have an amazing thread reader for you today. Again, coming from 3 days and 3 nights. Please follow them on Twitter, an amazing investigative journalist. It says here, proof. The world is submitting to Trump as he represents America in a game of Monopoly. This thread theorizes Trump is using their symbolism in photos to showcase nations and leaders that have submitted their allegiance and gold to MAGA and 17. My friends, this is one of the best, well-put threads I've read in a long time, so I hope you take it to heart and you spread this far and wide. But before we get to it today, my friends, would you please welcome my sponsor, Noble Gold. Hey guys, Thomas from True Reporting here. Did you know that gold is up 18%? That's right. It's been like that since the month of June, and we all know why. It's because Trump is relentless against the Federal Reserve. We know that our money is not worth anything unless it's backed by gold. So why not back your 401k or IRA with gold and go to Noble Gold and tell them Thomas sent you from True Reporting. You call this number 1-877-646-5347 and tell them Thomas sent you, and it'll be worth your while. Thanks guys, and enjoy the podcast. All right, guys, it's good to have you aboard. Before we get into today's podcast, would you please go ahead and click that notification bell so when I post to this channel, you'll get the alert and you'll be the first to know. Also, please, as well, click the like button. The more likes that this video receives, the more times it is recommended to other viewers, thus more eyes on the truth. This is the best way to fight censorship and support True Reporting. So, with that being said, my friends, let's go ahead and hop into it. This is True Reporting. So coming from 3 days and 3 nights, please, for the love of God, follow them on Twitter. Some of the best information I've been reading in a long time. It says here, proof the world is submitting to Trump as he represents America in a game of Monopoly. This thread theorizes Trump is using their symbolism in photos to showcase nations and leaders that have submitted their allegiance and their gold to Make America Great Again and 17. Reconcile, then decide. We can see here, this is just put together so well. Big Tech submitted in December 2016. 17 says, watch the water. And water is often in front of the people that have flipped early for a lower sentence. Back in December 2016, we have Trump with Thiel, Plantier, Cook of Apple, Gates of MS, and Sandberg, Facebook, Page of Google, Bezos of Amazon, and more. It says here Trump meets with tech leaders, as we can see all of them together. These are the people that they are saying that 3 days and 3 nights is saying that have submitted already back in 2016. We're wondering what exactly Bill Gates and Donald Trump will have to talk about tomorrow. We see Donald Trump speaks as PayPal co-founder and Facebook board member Peter Thiel. The chairman and Apple Incorporated CEO Tim Cook look on during a meeting with technology and leaders with Trump Tower at Trump Tower in New York, U.S. Saudi Arabia submitted May 2017. 17 said Saudi Arabia was the wealthiest side of the you-know-what pyramid. It fell in October 2017, right after LV and Alaoui's arrest, Las Vegas. We all know what took place there. This picture from May 2017 shows Trump doing a sword dance with King Saud, which is proof Saudi Arabia was going to war for Trump. Submission, right? And we remember this when he put his hand on the glowing world, and then right here he does the sword dance. Netanyahu submitted May 2017. 17 made it clear about the MOS and their crimes. Israel is not Moss anymore, talking about Mossad, any more than America is not CA. Trump has met with Netanyahu more than any other leader. They usually both wear the same color tie. Odds? Bibi has much bigger mess to clean up. He has a very big mess to clean up. And we all know that. More submission, as you can see. Chairman Xi submitted November 2017. Ask yourself how Trump walked safely into the lion's den way back in November 2017 and dine with Xi in the Forbidden City as the first foreign leader in their history. The culture in China is about saving face. Tariffs allow for economic transition. Trump to become the first foreign leader to dine in Forbidden City since founding of modern China. There's a lot to that, my friends. I understand that submission 100%. North Korea and South Korea submitted November 2017. I believe Trump tweeted evidence that Air Force One flew over North Korea after leaving Asia in November 2017. This means it was safe to do so back then, and patriots had already secured their rogue nukes when their nuclear mountain collapsed. North Korea and South Korea have submitted, as you can see. Japan and Prime Minister Abe submitted. Japan's Prime Minister Abe crossed his arms exactly like Trump in this famous photo, showing Trump's dominion over Angela Merkel. Blue dresses mean hidden message. Also, Trump recently presented the sumo trophy in place of the Japanese emperor. Submission. Absolutely. So he just comes in there, hands over the trophy. This was, I believe, Trump made this trophy for the sumo wrestler. But still, yes, it was presented by Trump and not the Japanese emperor. More submission, and you can see Abe and Trump here, both with the crossed arms rather, in front of Merkel. Very famous photo. Putin submitted. Trump started with the most powerful nations first, not last. In the Russia summit in Helsinki, Putin handed Trump a soccer ball and said, "The ball is in your court." Submission event, electronic evidence in the ball. Remember, the gold ship from Venezuela. Absolutely. I remember all this taking place in 2018. Here's the soccer ball being handed over to POTUS. Then he gave it to Melania to give to Baron Trump, the 7-foot Baron Trump. Macron finally submitted. Macron let Trump place his hands all over him like a puppy. Submission. He had no choice. Today at the G7 in France, Trump and Macron were photographed with the water between them today. The water was in front of Macron in the Merkel photo as well. And here we go again. As you can see him, Macron, the water's in front of him. Now it's between both of them. So, could be something, right? That definitely is something we all know about. Watch the water. Trudeau submitted, excuse me. For Justin T, we see the water in the background of the photo from the Canada summit. Yet we never see water in front of Trudeau, only behind him. So I believe he will be pushed out when needed. Trump has total submission over JT because of Nexium and Bronfman, as we can see here. The Queen submitted. It is unheard of for a foreign leader to walk in front of the Queen while reviewing her color guard. She asked Trump to do it. Notice the Queen was standing under her symbol and then moved Trump under it. Total submission. Thanks for the gold and the deed. As we can see here, she's standing up under the gold. Now Trump is up under the gold. So, as you can see, and then he walks in front of her. She looks like a lizard. Prince Charles submitted. Once again, we see Trump in the center position of authority between the Queen and Prince Charles. And then Charles pushes Trump ahead of him to review his color guard. Total submission. We own the crown. We choose the successor, which is huge, guys, as you can see here. Maury pushes Trump ahead to look at the color guard. Taking this a look, Trump in the middle. Absolutely. Now Mexico submitted. Mexico will pay for the wall. Trump can declass evidence of cartel CA bribes to Congress to force them to pay. El Chapo funds? Trump waived the secret deal letter about an agreement. Now they are guarding the north and south border for Trump. Submission. This is all true. He is making his rounds. Guatemala submitted. Guatemala just elected their version of Trump. This is important because Guatemala spans the Central American isthmus. Easier to block trafficking at the choke point. These pictures show their submission to Trump as they signed a deportation agreement. As you can see, he's like, there you go, boys. Sign away, right? Taking complete control. Argentina's Macri failed to submit. The Leo Hotel in Bariloche is one of their favorite hideouts going back to the Nazis. Here is Macri with Obama and Leo. Bush and Clinton were there too. Notice how Trump rudely leaves Macri on stage and removes his earpiece, if you do remember that, because I do. Very strange. And here he is again in Argentina with Michael and Obama Hussein. So, yeah. Yeah, he was just done with this. Maybe this person has not, as of yet, submitted, but we shall see. Theresa May submitted. Did May submit to Trump in 2017? Her instructions? Botch Brexit for 2 years until British citizens wake up? The resign while crying, it worked. Now Boris can fix it. Macron was probably given similar instructions to botch yellow vest protest, and we remember her crying like a little baby. Singapore, Vietnam, and Brazil submitted. These three nations had serious deep state hideouts. Not anymore. The Kim Jong-un North Korea summits were in Singapore and Vietnam for a reason. All those new China tariffs really help these nations, and Brazil has their own Trump now. Submission. As you can see, she has put together such an incredible thread here. It's amazing. Congress submitted. Look closely at the people sitting with Mattis before he went to Gitmo for Trump. McConnell is Trump's boy. Ryan resigned in his prime. Pelosi is letting the squad run things. Schumer is invisible. And we had that weird Nancy and Chuck speech. Submission. As you can see here, all taking place with his head down, just like he's bludgeoned, right? Very weird. These people are so creepy, but it's all making sense. Do you see even their posture, their mannerisms, they're all folding under Trump's submissions, right? Absolutely. Jerry Brown and Gavin Newsom submitted. My favorite submission event. Go to YouTube and watch videos of Trump with Brown and Newsom in paradise after the, in quote, fires, right? Remember the direct energy weapons? Both unnaturally keep their hands behind their backs for several minutes, signaling their hands are tied by Trump. Look at this. It's almost like Trump's almost like arresting him, right? Very weird. George Bush and Kevin Spacey submitted. Ask yourself why would Bush deliver pizza to the USS Detail? Why would Spacey deliver pizza to the press while wearing a hat that says retired since 2017? Maybe the McCain or George H.W. funerals motivated them. There are no coincidences. And as you can see here, it says, Laura Bush and I are grateful for our Secret Service personnel and the thousands of federal employees who are working hard for our country without a paycheck. And we thank our fellow citizens who are supporting them. It's time for leaders on both sides to put politics aside, come together, and end this shutdown. Pizza, pizza. And we all know about pizza, too. And we see the George H.W. Funeral as well. The Clintons submitted. This photo of the Clintons flying coach makes no sense. This is a submission event. What do, in quote, they have to offer other than encryption keys to unlock decades of blackmail they had on others? Maybe they saved Chelsea from their pending judgment. Yeah, the amount of money that these two people have, a lot of people think that, oh, you know, she was only a Secretary of State and married to a former president. This woman, Hillary Clinton, is extremely powerful, and I do believe that Trump has made her submit. And it's just a matter of time, guys. Like, we've got to have patience with all of what's going on. Remember, it will all come out in the end. They won't be able to walk down the street. The Fed submitted. Look at the expression on Trump's face. Remember, Trump nominated Powell so he controls him? Ignore the rhetoric. The Fed is the keystone of their economic warfare, and Trump would never risk losing the control of the Fed. He is using Powell to wake up America. All pieces of the puzzle are coming together, right? Twitter and Facebook have submitted. If you were Trump and fake news MSM was the enemy of the people, would you ignore TW and FB? Would you force them into early submission? Would you benefit by allowing them to continue in their ways until enough citizens were demanding IBOR? Great meeting afternoon with at the White House with Jack at Twitter. Lots of subjects discussed regarding their platform and the world of social media in general. Look forward to keeping an open dialogue. They've both been there, right? This is like a coming to God meeting, right? I believe so. This meme explains much more about Macri's troublesome connection to Argentina's little Bavaria and the Leo Leo resort. Deep state ground zero, near border to Chile. Giant mountains, beautiful weather, stunning vistas, accommodating government, perfect hiding place. What are the odds? Anon's posted this on 11/29 at 11:31. So we could see here, U.S. presidents, the gray wolf. The next day, 17 posted this on 11:30 at 11:31, almost like a shout back, right? George H.W. Bush, USSSS, so that would be U.S. Secret Service, and the gray wolf. So Danis Lupus, also known as Timberwolf, shared a common ancestry with the domestic dog. State funeral next week. Coincidence? Elk horns. Boom. That has a lot to do with the Rothschilds, I'm sure. George H.W. Bush, the Gray Wolf, was in Argentina on D5, December 5th, 1990. Probably just a coincidence. Also, we see here, Elsenstein owned Leo Leo in Argentina. His first business partner was George Soros. Huge, guys. Leo Leo Hotel, George Soros, December 5th through 6th, 1990. That's where Bush was, the Gray Wolf. All four of these presidents visited the area. Nothing to see here. So we're waiting on Argentina, I guess, to give in so that we can look into more of what's going on with the Little Bavaria and Leo Leo Resort. I wanted to end off on this podcast after that amazing thread, just tying everything together. This is just so many coincidences of submissive mannerisms that it's uncanny, guys. And it's a good thing to show to normies, just to show everyone knows what submission looks like, right? Even a kid could understand that. So Trump is back safe and sound at the White House after a great G7 meeting with a lot of enemies. President Trump took French President Emmanuel Macron's Iran gambit in stride as the G7 summit wound to a close, probably because Trump saw that Macron's real game was pure politics. The Frenchman's policies have sent his own approval ratings into the tank. Nearly retired German Chancellor Angela Merkel's coalition is on life support. Canadian Premier Justin Trudeau is reeling from a corruption scandal. Italy's Giuseppe Conte announced his resignation days before the summit opened. Britain's Boris Johnson just took over as prime minister and holds a paper-thin majority. Japan's Shinzo Abe is the only G7 leader whose grip on power back home might be stronger than Trump's, and he announced a trade deal with Washington during the meeting. So the idea that the gathering would set any long or even short-term common policy for the world's wealthiest nations was always a fiction. However, much the media sought to paint it in another round of world appalled by Trump. This is all that they try to do. They make Trump look like the enemy when in fact he's saving the planet. Macron, this year's host, originally wanted the summit to center on climate change and inequality, but those are very issues killing him with French voters. Hence his shift to pretending to try to resurrect the Iran deal on the sidelines. Whatever heads up the French president gave the American one about his invitation to Iranian Foreign Minister Mohammad Zarif, the stunt was never going anywhere. Macron and his allies have already consulted to death with Tehran about ways to salvage the accord. Even as Washington has shown it can keep tightening the screws despite the appeaser's best efforts. Trump also defeated Iran's effort to provoke open conflict, finessing Tehran's shoot down of a U.S. drone and its seizure of various oil tankers. Yet Macron still sought to paint the Americans as a warmonger by reaching out to Zarif as the central problem where Washington's refusal to negotiate, rather than its instance on a deal that actually stops Iran from joining the nuclear club. The bottom line, Macron was playing domestic politics, but Trump turned statesman by refusing to go ballistic over the empty gesture. How about that? And again, guys, Trump knows what he's doing. Trump has all of these people in the palm of his hand. Make sure of that. This guy knows what he's doing. This is a military operation. He has the military behind him. He's winning bigly in America, where we see fake news always showing that we're so divided, when actually we're not that divided. More people, he has a 51% approval rating, and I'm sure it's even beyond that. We cannot trust those Gallup polls. But my friends, I feel that our commander-in-chief is doing what he should be doing, and all we need to do is lift these algorithms. Last but not least, lift these algorithms so that we can push out the truth, because the MSM is smoldering us. They're smothering us into the ground. These YouTube channels, these Twitter accounts, so on and so forth. We've got to take control of that, and I pray for Trump to do so very soon. My friends, if you found this podcast informative and you enjoyed it, please subscribe to my channel. You can follow me on Twitter at TRUreporting, and don't forget to leave a like. You can donate to this channel and keep it afloat by going to my PayPal or Patreon. We have a P.O. box, and we also have TRUreporting merch. So if you would like to support the channel, those are the 4 best options. All the descriptions are in the link below. My friends, please be kind and loving to one another, and I will speak with you all very soon. Have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.